Joining us now over this is aviation safety and NAS expert Philip Mann. Philip, good to see you. This really adds up at the end of the day. And we've been looking at this recent study showing that the airline industry uses almost 2 million gallons of fuel monthly. We see commercial planes like the popular Boeing 737 burning 750 to 900 gallons every single hour. So this translates to huge operating costs at the end of the day. Will this only benefit companies or airlines, or do you think we will see this trickle down to passengers?
Well, I think there's a few things in play here. Is if you look at the analysis, it really kind of assumes broad population adoption of these GLP-1s and a broad population reduction in weight. So the numbers that they give, they're valid. The math is valid, but they kind of apply that in a case that everybody reduces weight, on average across the plane. I suspect that if we saw this, I mean, at least initially, it would only be probably a profit for the airlines kind of thing. But I suspect that if we saw a broad population weight reduction, all the passengers or all the cargo or whatever reduce weight, then we might see some kind of a trickle down in tickets. But that's going to depend on the operating dynamics and what's going on in the world and fuel prices and that at the time.
Yeah, certainly. We've been hearing from different airline carriers about potential cost-saving methods in the past. What are you hearing from industry insiders about this new study?
The thing is, airlines, physics is everything. Physics is the economics. So airlines and aviation operators go through ridiculous calculations to figure out weight. There was a thing back in the 80s where one of the major carriers took one olive out of their salads and wound up saving like $40,000 a year.
Wow.
Just purely in weight. And different air carriers, they change the aisle carts they use. They manufacture lighter ones. They do studies to change the construction of the airplane to reduce weight without compromising the strength and structure. And weight, at the end of the day, weight and fuel and labor, those kind of three things come together to define what it costs to take a flight anywhere. So airlines will do whatever they can. They're not going to compromise safety, but they are going to do everything they can within the bounds of safety to reduce weight, reduce fuel costs, and ultimately make it cheaper to fly a plane.
The olive anecdote is wild. So if passengers, and if they do lose weight, and if it does lead to lower operating costs for airlines, do you think realistically travelers can expect any better in-flight experiences, like companies using those savings to improve plane upgrades or better meals or better snacks, more roomy seats? I mean, or realistically, they're already operating on such a margin, that's just going to get absorbed. We're not going to see the benefit.
I think it could go either way. It's ultimately going to be kind of what's the competitive pressure in the industry. And we may, based on kind of the directions different airlines are heading now, we might start seeing a division between more premium carriers versus more discount carriers and kind of see those if there is a fuel cost savings that can be passed down, we might see that become the line that starts creating a little bit bigger difference between a premium carrier and a discount carrier. So it'll be kind of up to the airlines, and it'll be up to what other innovations happen between now and then to reduce the weight of seats, to reduce the weight of the plane. There might even be things like lighter weight fuels that get invented or something like that really save the cost of operating a plane. And then the rest of it's going to be market dynamics.
Yeah, and you mentioned this is all about physics as well. We see on average people losing between 15 and 20% of their body weight using GLP-1 meds. Factors, of course, like dosage levels and lifestyle choices come into play. But having said that, there's no way for airlines to predict the weight of passengers in advance. Is that correct? Or how can the idea of potentially lighter passengers impact the way airlines operate in the future?
Yeah, well, airlines are going to use population statistics. They're going to use population statistics for their planning. Now, they do get the weight of the plane in the moment when they're getting ready to fly, but they're going to plan based on what the population is doing. And if the population as a whole is losing weight, then they're going to gradually bring down those population numbers they're using to figure out, kind of forecast what they need. And it's probably an important thing to remember that this is not a judgment about people and their weight. This is just sheer where physics meets economics. There's nothing about any individual that's on the table here for discussion.
And Philip, more and more, would you say people are bringing an unreal amount of carry-on onto the plane than they were before? I mean, I'm just seeing like Sherpa level. It's the backpack and the roller bag, and then you're folding your laptop here. I mean, doesn't that add to the bottom line and the physics of it at the end of the day?
Yeah, it absolutely does. I mean, weight is the reason why there's that, nominally a 50-pound limit to your check bags and things like that. And I think where there are not rules or where rules are not widely enforced is where we're seeing people bring oversized carry-ons because maybe they're confident the airline's not actually going to bin their carry-on to see if it actually fits, or they're going to bring huge bags of things from the duty-free store or whatever. So yeah, the total weight of the airplane is what matters. It's not really the weight specifically of passengers. It's the passengers plus the luggage, plus the fuel, plus the cargo, plus the crew, plus the paint. All that matters.
And the olives. I'll be thinking about that
And the
now going
olives.
forward. Philip Mann, thank you so much for your time.